Hey there YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Just picked up these not too long ago on Craigslist. Some guy was getting rid of them, didn't really know what they were worth. These are the Sennheiser HD 558s. You can kind of see there on the inside of the band, if I can reach around my camera. 558. And they already have cat hair all over them. They've got these really wonderful velour pads, kind of signature to Sennheiser. Some people replace them. You can very easily find replacement pads for them. Can't say this is the most comfortable pair of cans I've ever worn. Actually, I think these are one of the most uncomfortable in terms of the pairs that I've reviewed. Most comfortable being the Audio-Technica ATH 500X E.A.R headphones that kind of have that funky partial headband. It doesn't have a full headband. And those are very, very comfortable. Pads are awesome on that. Grados, very comfortable, lightweight. Even the PSBs, very plush leather, comfortable headphones. These are great too. I just feel like this headband doesn't have too much stretch to it. So, you know, it doesn't, hold open very well. So it is kind of constantly applying an inward pressure. Now these are a little bit aged, so I don't know how much age was inherited upon these. So it has just a plastic inner adjustment, which is kind of loose. It's kind of muddy. It feels very odd adjusting the headphones. There's no distinctive click or setting. It kind of just very loose bumps, a little bit of tactile feedback to select your headphone setting, but it stays there. It doesn't move around or anything like that. So construction's very good. These are open headphones, not completely open like the Audio-Technicas or Grados. I would personally classify them as semi-open. Sennheiser says they're open, and they kind of are. You can kind of see through this little mesh here that covers it. There's kind of a plastic grated, very generic looking plastic cover that's back there that allows you to sort of get into the driver. And then you can see on the other side your driver. 53 millimeter drivers, so they are a little bit bigger. These are not tilted towards your ear in any way. They're just regular circumaural or circumaural headphones. They've got cat hair all over them. They are a hair magnet. But it does have this kind of indent on the inside to sort of direct sound in its best way it can. I can't really say that has much of a difference. These are really good build quality, but they do have just enough movement in them. The band is pretty darn heavy. Now these did come from Craigslist. This velour band on the top is great. I don't like that it really creases over time. Not even me using it, and I did have to glue it back in place, so that might have been the previous user. In terms of sound, these are 50 ohm. I think the guy that was using them previously wasn't driving them correctly. I think he just plugged them into his computer or something like that, or his cell phone or an iPod, and it wasn't really driven correctly, and that's probably why he put them up for sale, and I got them for so cheap. But when driven properly on any decent amp, any sort of amplification, they sound pretty darn good. Very good mid-range, pretty good on the low end. Bass is full. It's there. It's not lacking. It's not some pairs of headphones like Grados or something like that. You feel that there's a definite lack of a lower end. It's crisp, but not maybe as crisp as I want. I'm definitely left wanting more in terms of vocal crispness and just overall crisp audio reproduction, but it is pretty darn good. I can't complain for these headphones. These headphones do retail for $150, but you can find them for right around $100, and that's what I would expect out of these. These are a $100 pair of headphones, and that's what they sound like. They sound like a $100 pair of headphone. You compare them to a $150 pair of Audio-Technicas or a $300 pair of Grados, and they don't really stand up in all categories, but these are good. A really good bang for the buck. Styling is great. It's the classic black matte silver rings around everything, the nice black and white and silver Sennheiser mix. I love the design. It's very traditional. You could wear these headphones as your everyday headphones, minus the whole fact that they'll be kind of weak because they're, underdriven because they are 50 ohms. But, if you're one of those hi-fi enthusiasts that carries around a, portable hi-fi media player and an amp, then that's all for you. And I think this is a really good fit. Now they are open, and it's kind of crappy for me now in the summer. I have big fans and air conditioning running in most of the house, so you can definitely hear what is going on. This does have a little bit of noise cancellation. For example, my Audio Technicas, you put them on, you have no idea that they're on. They're comfortable, and they are so darn open that you can hear everything. They are over-ear. They're not on-ear, as I'm sure you've already found out. And with the sort of pressure that the headband provides, it is a little bit noise canceling. It's still open. You still get that outside noise that comes in, but it does sound, much nicer and performs much, much better than a pair of closed-backed headphones. So they are for the person that's on the go. Keep in mind that you might prefer a quiet listening environment for, lack of outside distractions, or you're going to, turn it up pretty loud to drown that out. The ear cups do have, a little bit of, directional tilt this way because they're just anchored on one side here. But the cups themselves have just a tiny bit of movement, and that's kind of built into the where it attaches to the headband adjuster there. And these fit very, very well. But, comfort's a little problem because of how rigid the headband is. I definitely recommend it with a amp, even something really, really cheap. The Bravo Audio Ocean pieces are cheap, under $100, under $200, I'll say, even if you get their most expensive model, and they are perfect for this. So if you're interested in getting into hi-fi audio, a pair of these, hi-fi media player, or some sort of hi-fi setup, you can even do it through your computer. Have a little DAC and a amp. The shit stack is ridiculously popular and completely overrated in my opinion. The shit Magni and Modi, the little shit stack, is okay for under $200. And that compared with this, paired with whatever game you're playing on your computer or something like that, will definitely get you into the hi-fi realm. Download yourself some FLAC music and you'll be in business. Or DSD if you really want to get into some hi-fi audio. DSD sounds absolutely amazing. I wish I could get more of it. So let's go into the accessories that it comes with. Unique to Sennheiser is their headphone cable. And this twists to lock in place. And then you can pull that out. It kind of goes in and twists to lock in place like I just said. And this is a really, really small, not 1/8 inch, not 3.5 millimeters. It's like half that, like a 1/16 of an inch, or 1.8 millimeters, something like that. It's very, very small, and it's proprietary. And you can kind of see the little mechanism there. If it focuses, that locks it in place. And this is unique to most Sennheiser headphones. This does have a 9.8 foot cable. It's just a little bit over 3 meters. And one thing that I love about this is it natively comes with a 1/4 inch headphone jack. They actually give you the opposite. Normally, you get one of these little guys to go from your 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch. This has the opposite. It comes with 1/4 inch built in, and you have to use the adapter that they provide to downgrade it to 1/8 inch if you want to listen to an iPod or a whatever media player that has that output. The cable's not great. Gauge is fine. It's a pretty thick cable, a little bit longer than I'd like. I like a 6-foot cable, 2 meters, no bigger than that really, unless I need to string it across the room. And I do string this across the room commonly because I have my headphone listening station that way and my main computer that I normally hang out on that way. And so it does have to kind of stretch across my room, and that's good for this, and I do like these. The cable itself, it's not anti-tangle or anything like that. It's actually really hard to get it looking this nice. It basically does what it wants, and it will tangle, and it'll bind up on you, and it's a very odd cable in terms of anti-tangle. But I do like the adapter. The downgrade adapter is black. It's pretty common. I actually left it in my car because I got these not too long ago. But I've been listening to them for a little while now, and they're pretty darn good. They're not completely broken in. The guy said he only put a couple hours on them, and then he didn't like the sound of them right out of the box. It does only have the headphone jack on one side, which is fine. I do prefer the ability to go both, but regardless of which way I'm sitting at my listening station or my computers, left is always good for me anyway. So, I don't know. What else can I say? These do play a pretty wide range. The range that they advertise, it's kind of hard to tell when it's locked in there. The range that they advertise is 15 hertz to 28,000 hertz. So it does play a little bit wider range, frequency range than most headphones. And then the step above this, the 598s, I think. In the Sennheiser 5 series, there's the $75 model. We'll say it's the $100 model because I think that's what it retails for. It's the 518s. Looks kind of like this, but a little bit cheaper in every single category. And sounds appropriately that way. But that's better for mobile because they're only 30 ohm and they're a little bit easier to drive. And they have a little bit smaller drivers and all that stuff. Then there's the 558s. This is kind of the middle of the road $150 model. And they're good, but might want you wanting something more. They're good, they're not great, but the reason they're not great is because I own, $700 pairs of headphones that, will blow this out of the water, and appropriately so. But for a $100 pair of headphones, these are very, very good. And then there's the Sennheiser 598s, I think, and they are just better in every category. They're, I think, 75 ohms, a little bit harder to drive, same drivers, a little bit different technology in there. They weigh a little bit more. I think they weigh like 50 grams more, and these weigh only like 182 grams. The 518s weigh like 140 grams, and the 590s are a little bit more. I think they're over 200 grams. And that one plays a huge frequency range. It plays from 15 hertz to 34,000 hertz. This does 15 hertz to 28,000 hertz. So rather than the 20 to 20,000 or the 15 to 15,000, this does just a little bit more than that. And it does play down pretty low. I was doing some test discs that I had, I think from Dr. Chesky or Chesky Records or something like that I got on HD Tracks, and got it free when I got the HAPS 1, and that has a ton of different listening modes, and it's almost not music. It just really tests the sound stage and the spaces that it creates, and it has vocal tracks and drum tracks, and there's a track with a guy that just beats on a drum and he walks around the room. Then you can really hear that sound space. You can close your eyes and really picture the guy walking around the room, and that's what I use to test all of the headphones. It's 30 something tracks. Most of the tracks are frequency ranges, so it'll play from 10 hertz all the way up to 30,000 hertz, and I normally don't test the full range because that has the ability to damage headphones, but these performed pretty darn well. So for a $100 pair of headphones, these are extremely hard to beat. Sennheiser is a very, very popular name. They make good headphones. They're commonly overlooked. The Sennheiser Game Zeros, I think, are one of the best gaming headsets that are out there. I'm jealous. I wish I had a pair. Maybe I'll pick some of those up. But I definitely wanted to get a pair of Sennheisers in the rig. So you won't see them yet on Instagram or Twitter if you follow me there. And if you don't follow me there, you should follow me there, because there's a lot of good pictures and follow-up and discussions that we have after these videos get posted. But you won't see them in my setup online for a little while, because I still got to get headphone stands and other things like that for it. But I'm making room for the Sennheisers in the hi-fi listening area. So like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. Questions or comments, leave them in the section below. I'm learning more about these headphones every day. I've put about 18 hours into these headphones so far. I've been listening to them for quite some time now. Great Craigslist steal. You'll be surprised what you can find on Craigslist in your hi-fi section. But even for $100, you can go online and get them for, I think they're $109 right now on Amazon, and they are good. I can't really say too many bad things about it. The pads, maybe a little bit of replacing. The cable, another thing. The cable is something that is very commonly replaced. I actually ordered a replacement cable, not because this one's bad, just because I want one that's a little bit differently sized. And the new ones you can get range between $10 and $20 depending on size, and it's much nicer braiding, and it matches this, and it's got some accent colors and other things like that in it, and it's a higher gauge, so hopefully we'll get some better quality out of that, and I'll follow up probably in 6 months and let you know how these do. So pros and cons on any pair of headphones. Those are the pros and cons on these headphones. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. We've got more coming up each week, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Thank you.